Hey girl, hey. Welcome to my channel, Redefining a Woman's Worth. I am Janelle Renee, and I'm here for another video, y'all. And we back in the relationship streets, okay? We talking about relationships, and I want to give a warning to my sisters, right? I want to give a warning to my sisters who are single, who are waiting, who desire marriage, who wants to date, or who are dating, right? And I want to say, don't take the bait. I did a complete podcast episode, the purity after I can't even speak, y'all. The purity after promiscuity podcast. And if you guys want to know more about that, you can go even here on my YouTube channel, and you can check that episode out, or you can go listen to it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Radio Public, iHeartRadio, Podbean, and many others, right? And so I decided to get in these dating streets, y'all. I just decided to take a leap. I know I talked about it before. I talked about it in I think maybe even my last video that I did on here, but I got an update for you guys, and I definitely got a word of wisdom and a warning for someone, because I'm gonna tell you, we are in a season where God is going to perform, right? It says in the word that he is faithful to perform, right? He is faithful to perform his promises. And so he who has promised is faithful. And we got to know that it's not going to always look like it. It's not going to always feel like it. Things are not going to always go the way we think. But we got to be steadfast, unyielding, and immovable. We got to learn to trust God, even when it's ambiguous, even when it's not clear, even when it's like a gray area, even when it's chaotic and it's looking polar opposite of what he said. We got to learn to trust him and take him at his word. And so, y'all, I got to confess and tell on myself, because the Lord had to show me in the midst of all of, what's going on. And the fact that I even decided to get in these dating streets, I've been saying it for a while. I've been saying it for like well over a year, probably almost 2 years. Like, I'm ready to date. And here lately, I've had the unction even more so. And so with that, I just have this desire, right? There's like something awakened in me where I was pretty content in my singleness, to be honest, until, really this year. And I just kept feeling like I want to go on dates. I want to know what it's like to court, to be dated, to get to know someone. I want to spend time with a man, the man that I'm dating, the man that I want to be with, the man that and particularly my husband. Like, I'm not out here trying to just date a bunch of dudes. Like, that's not that. But I do want to get to know the man that I am going to be marrying. Like, I'm ready to be in that close proximity, right? And developing that relationship. And so I decided to get in these dating streets, y'all. I decided to get in online dating. If you guys don't know, I've expressed it before, and I still stand by it. I really don't agree with it for myself. I know it works for some people. I know it's success stories. I know people have met people via Instagram, Facebook, all the things, and they're married and it works. I've seen story after story, even just getting on dating sites. I know there are success stories and there are horror stories, but for me, I'm a more traditional type of girl. I like to do it the old-fashioned way. However, sometimes, you got to stop and consider and look at your life and say what's realistic. And because I don't go places that much, I'm not really out and about right now. That's not the season that I'm in. I needed to position myself to be found. So I was like, well, the only option is really to do online dating, because that's something that's right here. It's accessible. It's something that I could do because I'm already on my phone, right? And so I decided to do it. But if I'm really honest, y'all, the reason why I got on online dating in the first place, my motive was not right. I got on online dating because the person that I have interest in, and that I believe the Lord has been highlighting to me, we had a conversation, and the conversation went the exact way I thought it would. But because it still wasn't what I wanted, and I just decided to take it and look at it as this is my go ahead to go and start pursuing other things, right? And so because that situation went the way it did, and it didn't result in me dating, okay? It didn't. So I was like, I'm about to get on online dating. And so I did. I got on online dating because I just was determined to move on and to go ahead and just totally disregard the situation with the person that I have interest in. And I just wanted to receive what they said as rejection. And to be honest, I don't even think it was that, but I think because it wasn't what I wanted, I just took it as rejection to give me the justification to do what I want to do. And in that, I got on this online dating. The first person that I actually connected with on there, good experience. He was a real person. Everything was legit. He looked at the way his pictures looked. He was cool. We had a great time. A great time. You know, some things came up, and come to find out, it became clear to me this was not an opportunity for romance. This was an assignment. This brother is running. God is trying to get his attention, and based on things he told me, based on things, we talked about, I know for sure that he is somebody that God is trying to get, bring back, right? He's kind of astray right now. And it's my job to pray for him, which is okay. Like, I'm at a place, I'm mature enough, and I'm healed enough to understand that, because everything ain't about romance, right? With God cares about his children. God cares about his people. Like, he more concerned with people getting right and getting back in right standing with him, because souls will perish if they do not. If people don't return back to Christ, if they are in a backslidden state, if they have gotten woke or conscious, those are the terms he used, why he don't preach anymore and why he's not doing what God, told him to do, is because he's woke. When people go astray like that, God still cares. Like, he loves them. And so it's not our job to try to turn every situation and every opportunity to connect with someone of the opposite sex into a relationship. And so I was like, okay, I was okay with that. Like, Lord, I'm gonna pray for him, I'm gonna cover him, and that's that. And so that didn't go anywhere. So I continued to, be available on the profile or on the app or whatever. And of course, it's a lot of guys that, like my profile. Most of the people I ignore, or I hit the X button. And then even when they do kind of catch my attention, and I be like, okay, I still don't really communicate with a lot of people or a lot of the guys or whatever. We just be on there as a match. But it was this one particular guy who he, commented on one of my pictures, and he liked my profile. When I looked at him, I was like, hmm. What's up, boo? Because he was pretty attractive, okay? Dude was fine. I was like, Lord, you did your best work right here. And I was like very intrigued, right? I was very intrigued and captivated or whatever. And we was, messaging back and forth. And I kept looking at his pictures, though, and I kept feeling like, Lord, there's something so familiar about this. There's something so familiar about him. I don't know why. I don't know him, never met him, but it was something about him. And the more I kept asking God, and the more I kept, looking at his pictures, it just became so clear. Like, what's familiar is he fits my type, right? My preference. Now, for me, I've always dated a street dude. Like, I'm just going to be honest. I've been saved for a long time. I've been walking with the Lord for a long time. But I still was dating dudes in the streets, because that was what I grew up around. That was what was comfortable. That was what was familiar, right? That's what I knew. Like, I have my family. I got men. Most of the men in my family are for the streets. They in the streets. They out here. They getting the bag, doing what they do. They, whatever. And so it didn't never, was never presented or never looked at as like in your mind that it's wrong and it's illegal, obviously, but it's something about it that's so normalized that you almost don't look at it like it's a bad thing. You just look at it like they out here trying to get their money, take care of their family or whatever. And so those are most of the time the guys that I was actually attracted to, and that was attracted to me. And those are the guys that I was dating, even as a Christian woman. I never had dated a Christian man. So it was something so comfortable about that, because it was something that was familiar to me. So I kept saying, Lord, why does he seem so familiar? It was because of, he had tats, and, he had a beard, and he was fresh, and he was swaggy, and he was thuggy, and, he looked like he was for the streets, and he was fine. And it was just like, that's my preference, right? That's the thing that I was always drawn to and that I always chose. But my preference never was profitable. I never had a relationship with a man and it ended well, or it was good, or it was fruitful, or it was healthy. It was always ending in heartache and heartbreak. It was always some, some drama and some trauma. It was always, some women and some cheating, or some nonsense, or them going to jail or whatever. It was always something with dating these type of guys. And so I kept asking the Lord, like, Lord, what is this? Like, because I was so intrigued. Like, I wanted dude to ask me for my number, y'all. I wanted him to be like, what's up with you, sis? Because I was going to be like, you, you, boo. And I'm just being honest. And I could feel that in myself. And I had to keep praying and asking God to help me, and to tell me, like, what is this, though? And a lot of times when we have a certain type that we constantly are attracting or attracted to, that is something that a familiar spirit is orchestrating. And a familiar spirit's whole agenda is to kill, steal, and destroy. They really try to trap you, to trick you, to get you into involved with the wrong person so they can destroy you, period. Destroy your destiny, your purpose in your life, or whatever. And so I kept trying to keep that communication open with him, though, because I just wanted to see. I was just so curious. I wanted to see, but I did keep going to the Lord, praying and asking about it. And I just got to the place where I was like, Lord, if this ain't you, if you didn't send him, or if this is something that is not good for me. Because one of the days I looked at him and I was like, oh, he looked like trouble. So then days later, or maybe a week later, I showed his picture to my friend, and I was just kind of telling her about him and how, I was so, interested or whatever, intrigued. And as soon as she looked at his picture, she was like, oh, he looked like trouble. I said confirmation, because I said the same thing, and I don't believe I told her that, but it was interesting. That's what she said. And so I kept going to God about it. And finally the Lord was like, delete his profile, just delete it. And I said, okay. And I did. I deleted it right then and there. And that was that. And so then I was fine. I didn't go back to, look and check or nothing. I was cool, because I was like, I trust you, Lord. Because something told me, like, this ain't good. This ain't good for me. This is something that's easily going to take me in the wrong direction. So then there was this other guy. Not too long ago, a few days ago. More fine, okay? Dude looked like he should have been on the cover of GQ, on some kind of magazine as a model. I'm like, if this man ain't a model, he sure should be. Okay? Super fine. Super fine. And I'm just like, okay. And so, we corresponded back and forth or whatever. And it's like, okay, it ain't, consistent, but we, messaging back and forth. And I'm just kind of like trying to figure this person out, though. And it's hard, because all I can see is a profile picture and a little profile bio, right? And so I kept feeling like, Lord, I don't know, though. This seems just too, like, I don't think this is a real, person. Like, or I think something about this is off. But I, again, kept the door open, because I really wanted to see, because I'm like, now if this is the real deal, I don't want to, I don't want to reject it. I don't want to, kind of, if this is the blessing of the Lord, I don't want to, push it away. I don't want to miss the opportunity. So it's just something, like, I just kept looking, like, something I'm trying to read into. I'm trying to figure it out. And I let one of my friends see his pictures, and they felt like it was edited. And so I was like, his pictures didn't really look edited, but it's very plausible that somebody could have stole the pictures and created a profile, right? So I was just like, So then they mentioned some things that were red flags, and I said, okay. So then I started being more on high alert. So long story short, I just kept feeling like uneasy about it. And eventually, I was like, Lord, I think I'm just about to be like, I'm cool on him, because something in me telling me, like, either if it wasn't a scam, it was just something that I just didn't need to be involved in. So in the meantime, I go then and look at my deleted messages from the first guy that I deleted his profile. I deleted our conversation, right? And I blocked him on the on the app because the Lord told me to go ahead and block him. Well, when I went to our messages, it said this profile, this dating profile is no longer exists. So I said, thank you, Lord. It said that dating profile no longer exists, y'all. So that one, the guy that was my preference, that I was like so intrigued by, his dating profile no longer exists. So that obviously was some BS or a scam, right? So I'm like, this is crazy. So I was like, I'm probably going to end up blocking this dude too. And I really just was in prayer, like, and really just not even in prayer, if I'm honest. I kind of was just like in a space where I just wanted to hear from God, and I was spending time with the Lord. And I felt the Lord tell me that I was trying to take matters in my own hands. He ain't never told me to get on no dating website, right? That was me still trying to be in control. That was me still trying to do it my way, still not trusting him. And he had to tell me to delete my entire profile and get off that dating site thing. And I did. So I said all this to say, do not try to do God's work for him. He do not need your help. He do not need my help, right? He's God all by himself. And the more we try to take matters in our own hands, the more we can delay, the more we can be out of position, right? Because when God does come with the thing, if you already got something there, then you may miss the opportunity that's from God. Everything that's good is not God. And this doesn't just apply for dating. That is what this particular video is about, but it could be an opportunity. Like, don't try to go create an opportunity. If God told you he's going to elevate you, he's going to open a door, he's going to bless your business, he's going to send you contracts or clients, just trust him. Keep doing whatever he told you to do last and allow him to do it. The moment we try to put our hands in it, we try to do it our way, we'll find that the enemy will slide right on in, and he will make sure that we get something. But it won't be the thing that we're looking for. It will be some kind of, evil, wicked plot of the enemy, trap of the enemy, to keep us bound, to get us in bondage, to get us oppressed, to get us out of the will of God, or whatever the case may be. Do not, sorry y'all, this outside. Do not take matters in your own hand and try to do it your way. Sis, if you still in your waiting season and God ain't really gave you to go ahead, don't go out and just start trying to orchestrate things relationally for yourself. Don't try to open those doors, right? If you know God spoke to you and he's highlighting someone, or he told you someone was for you, and it don't look like it, and the person doing X, Y, and Z, or they seem like they ain't paying you no attention, or whatever the case, just wait on God. Trust God. Wait till God tell you to do something else. Wait till God tell you to let it go and to move forward, because that is the main way the enemy is trying. What the enemy is trying to do in this season, he's just trying to get people to abort their position, to get out of position, to get you so caught up in what it is that you want and what it looks like, and God ain't moving fast enough, and maybe he ain't gonna come through, and it ain't gonna happen, or it don't look like it, or I've been waiting so long, or I've been praying so long, and all of these things, right? He's coming with all of these things to get you in discouragement and doubt, and so you can get out of position. I was getting out of position, y'all. I was on this dating app, and I was ready to be dating somebody. I was ready to be on there, and meet somebody. And if it wasn't for the fact that I continued to seek God, and I continued to pay attention to the way I was feeling, to the things that was coming up, and I was continually submitting that to God, that I would be in a position for God to be able to tell me, like, you know what, daughter, you need to block him. Who knows what he would have tried to do, right? You know what, daughter, you need to just get off of here, because at the end of the day, God knows what we don't know. He see what we don't see. And we don't have to take matters in our own hand. We have to learn to trust him at his word, and to take him and put him in remembrance of what he said, and not try to create an Ishmael, but just wait on the Isaac. Come on, somebody. I'm gonna leave that right. I'm gonna leave that right there. I'm gonna end this video on that note. We don't have to go and try to create an Ishmael. We can just wait on Isaac, right? He who has promised is faithful. If God said it, it is so. So, remember, your past does not define you. It develops you, and you are worthy.